Guys, I'm still at the freaking hospital. I'm gonna update you when I get outside. I'm just walking outside because I need some fresh air or I'm literally going to lose my mind. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back. I'm now sitting outside in like this bench area at the hospital, and I already feel about 80% better than I was feeling just a moment ago being inside, because I haven't been outside since yesterday because I was waiting for the doctor. Anyways, before we get into this video, guys, I'm going to explain to you why I'm making this video, because, I always ask the Lord why he allows things to happen. And whenever I stop and sit and think, I always make some realizations, because I've been talking a lot recently for some odd reason, particularly about the food and pharmaceutical industries, right? And I've been saying how I feel like a lot of things that we're prescribing people medication for, it's not that they need medication, there's an underlying problem, and that the devil just loves to slap medication onto things, so we never fix our real problems, whether they are emotionally related, mentally related, or whatever. Because I do believe a lot of people's issues stem from some kind of issue, or even if it's like things to do with your health and all of that, maybe a lack of discipline these days. Our diets are really killing us. So I've been harping on about that. So I should have known that at some point the Lord would allow me to obviously have to learn from the inside, because that's what he does. Whenever he's going to allow me to learn a lesson that I need to learn, this is how I say that he always uses my dumb choices to then bring glory to him, and why the Bible says, all things work together for good for those who are in Christ. Like, even though we got here because I was being a dum-dum, essentially. Well, yes and no, to be honest with you, because it's not really my fault, but anyway, not important right now. We are going to come to why I first ended up in the hospital, but we're just doing things as we can. Look, see how much better it is. I'm back in nature. I feel like myself. I can actually feel my heart rate reducing already. So I thought I'd quickly take this time to show you the pills these people had me on. This is like the second day, and they basically gave me all the ones that they'd given me, like one by one, all in one go, right? Because they were trying to reduce my heart rate, my blood pressure, sorry, which you'll see in a second. But yeah, I just thought, since we're going to be talking about all of this, I'll just give you guys a little bit of footage from the hospital. Sorry, I am outside sitting on the swing, getting fresh air and just thinking and like talking with the Lord, and going through some of this footage. And yeah, I just wanted to show you that this is me. This was the answer. This is the world's answer to everything you're going to hear me talking about, and everything you've been hearing me talk about is these 3 pills. And I'm not going to lie, the way that they didn't make me feel absolutely anything at all different is crazy. And I also included the food I'd had cornflakes, and I had this quiche, it was actually pretty decent, and they gave me this other pill, God knows what it's for. And this was my little hospital bay area that I was staying in, which in a second you'll be able to see my heart rate situation, where it was at this point, because I was hoping they were going to discharge me, but they kept leaving this thing on. So it was at 164 over 112 here. So this is actually when it was better, because the worst it got to was like 197 over 168, which, by the way, this was dinner. This jelly was really good, I just like to add. And this is my heart rate when I was discharged. So just keep this in mind. I had to get it down to like ideally below 161 something for them to let me leave, because they were like, if we let you leave, then it's going to be too high and it's dangerous. And I was like, this place is what's getting to me, like this place right here. And when I had taken this is after I had already come back from this video that you're watching now of me sitting outside, and after I had kind of vented my feelings to you guys and to the Lord, and I was pretty much just waiting for this is the next medication they gave me, and whenever they were next going to take my readings. And so this is what I was doing as I was just waiting to get discharged. And I was just thinking to myself how actually ridiculous all of this was, because the issue that we had here was actually nothing to do with health, I feel like, and everything to do with my mental state, and how just being amongst the worldly things, having all the reminders, the other ladies that were there, and how much entropy was taking over their life, and like us going through the night and seeing how, one of the old ladies, she couldn't sleep because she had so much mucus, God bless her. So she kept like choking in the middle of the night, like every hour. So here's an idea of what I'm talking about. So you guys have a bit of things to think about when you hear what I have to say next. also, I will explain this at the end of the video when I do my like debrief once I finally did get home. But I just want to say that the nurses were lovely, and I truly believe a lot of these people, they really meant well and they really mean well, like who work there. They came into this because they do care about people. Well, not necessarily all of them, but they do really care about people, and they do actually want to see people get better. So I just want to make that really clear, that like as much as I'm saying all this stuff I'm saying about all of this, I think the people at large that were there were genuinely trying to do their best at what they had been deceived was the best course of action. And just seeing it from the inside and being the actual patient, knowing myself, knowing the experiences I've had with the Lord, how, you know, he got rid of my period pains, how he got rid of my asthma, how he just does things. I'm just here sitting out in nature, even editing this, right? Getting my hit of drugs from the Lord, if you like. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight the people were lovely, the nurses were awesome. I talk about this at length anyways later. Just wanted to say that as well so you guys are aware, but this was the situation at hand. Just being amongst the trees and the sun on my face, because I've just been in that freaking hotel room, hospital room. When I tell you that beeping sound, especially because where they keep checking my blood pressure, it does this extra beeping because it's too high. Let's come to that. So I've just had a conversation with the doctor, and then I tell you that I was fuming. I'm fuming at this conversation, at this whole situation, because basically I came to the hospital and it wasn't because of my blood pressure, right? But as I was supposed to be discharged yesterday, I'm also going to show you guys a few bits and bobs, you know how I like to do. I'm also trying to give myself something to distract myself because I have to take some other medication in 30 minutes, and then probably like an hour after that I'll have to get checked again to see if I can be discharged. And I will self-discharge today. I've decided that already because they're not listening. And this is my point. This is my exact point, because I realize what the problem is when I'm talking with a doctor in particular, because obviously I teach kids who want to go to medical school, and it's always the kids who will become actual doctors who tend to be the ones who are not great problem solvers. They're very good at following the rules. They're very good at learning the textbook off by heart, but you will find that the people who don't necessarily become a doctor, so say for example, like the nurses, you know, the physios, the occupational therapists, in my opinion, are much greater problem solvers because they didn't necessarily do as well in school, but then they've built up other skills. Whereas the A-star students, as we call them, right, the top level students, they just tend to be students who are really good at learning a whole bunch of information. That doesn't mean they necessarily are understanding anything. And I feel like this is what was just happening. This is what's been happening with me and the doctors, right? Because can I just say that the nurses have looked after me so freaking well since I first got there. I've had 3 different nurses, and they are like key nurses, like, you know, who are specifically, I was allocated to them specifically. Absolutely love them. And honestly, can I just say, I know this is going to sound really bad, but there is a part of me that's kind of happy this is all happening for the sake of the plot, because like this is the type of stuff I talk about, and now I'm living it, like in my own experience. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not, you know, hearing somebody else's story. I'm living it. I'm the one here with the freaking patient, you know, I'm the one with the freaking patient wristband, and who's getting their blood pressure checked every 5 minutes, and they're giving me vitamins, pumping me with drugs. So let me just take you back to what happened. So we'll come back to how I ended up in the hospital in the first place when I finally get home, because I need to be in my safe space to talk about what happened, because it's quite traumatic. Unintentionally, and there was a lot involved. And so, yeah, anyway, yesterday, I'd been there for long enough, and they were like, we're going to discharge you. I was like, thank the Lord, right? So the doctor comes in, he asks me how I am. I was like, I'm fine. He wanted to refer me to mental health. He was asking me, are you okay with mental health? I see on your record you've struggled with your mental health in the past. And I was like, they still have that on record, because I was never diagnosed with anything. And that's besides the point. I'm not okay. And this is where the high blood pressure is coming into it. I'm not okay. I'm stressed. I've been stressed at least since September, severely stressed. And I've been talking about it with you guys. This is why I find all of this stuff so funny, because it's like, it doesn't matter how many things I say. It's just like people just don't believe me. And it's really weird, right? But anyways, and this is my fear of being in the hospital. What I just went through being in the hospital, this is my worst fear. This is why one of the main reasons I don't want to have kids, because how am I going to be there having a child coming out of my body, right? And I've got flipping dingbats trying to tell me, anyway. So this is what happened. I see the doctor, right? And he's like, okay, you can go home. Now, bearing in mind, throughout the whole entire night, one of the reasons I haven't slept in more than like 10 hours in 3 days is they were monitoring everything about me for like all through the night. So like every 2 hours, they're coming and they're doing my blood, they're checking this, they're checking that. Or I need to take this vitamin or whatever. So it was just chaotic. And then also being in the hospital, like on the first night I was there, I flipping heard those people screaming. There was a patient screaming in the other bay next to the bay I'm in. There was one screaming in my bay. You got the flipping sounds of everything in the room. You got the staff walking back in and out. And this is literally my worst nightmare when it comes to sleeping, because I've told you guys, even the sound of my phone ringing gives me anxiety. Like hearing the door someone knock on my door gives me anxiety, because I'm just like, who needs something from me right now? I don't even have enough for myself. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So this is why I'm saying it all ties in together, how interesting this situation is going down. So anyway, I was there, trying to sleep, couldn't obviously sleep. I can barely sleep normally because, again, I keep waking up with these bouts of anxiety. Again, knowing too much about the world now and just realizing that everything is actually going to hell. And if God doesn't step in for us, which he will, I believe, then we are so screwed. And we're not just kind of screwed, we're so screwed. And then the body of Christ ain't even strong at the moment. So where am I supposed to go to have some kind of understanding other than literally you guys, who are the sweetest people absolutely ever? I just like to add, and I just don't know why you guys put up with me. But anyway, so I'm already stressed beyond belief before I've even come to hospital for whatever reason I was at hospital for, and I knew my blood pressure was. I even did a video. So I've said in videos about my blood pressure, but again, because I'm me, and when I look and I say I'm not okay, I don't look like I'm not okay, so no one believes that I'm not okay. I've realized that from being in the bay, and I also realized that because of Jezebel, because Jezebel's basically like, yeah, you've got too many things working in your favor that no one's ever going to really have any empathy for you. Like it's going to be very few people who are going to care, because it's going to be like, what could possibly be wrong with you? Which I've had a lot of that kind of energy over the last couple of days, of what could possibly have been wrong with you, kind of thing. But it's that. But then it's also like, meanwhile, I'm saying I'm stressed and whatnot. Right, I'm not looking sick. Like the other people in the room were like sleeping literally the whole entire time. There's whatever, other than the friend I made. Oh, shout outs to her. I'm so grateful to have met her. And we will be catching up once I finally get out of this freaking place. So like I know that I don't ever look as bad as I feel. So when I'm telling people, this is why I'm like, I'm scared. Like I feel like it's kind of sad that like I have to do a song and dance for people to believe me, and that takes effort as well. That takes energy. So all this advocating for myself that I'm having to do, I'm like, I'm exhausted. I'm living off of like 10 hours of sleep the last few days. I've barely eaten anything. Like my period has just started today as well, mind you. People aren't listening to me, so it's making the situation worse. So basically what happened is I was supposed to be discharged yesterday at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. they were like, the doctor finally shows up and they're like, yep, you can go home. Just as I'm about to leave, the nurse was like, hey, let me just do your observations again. Checks my blood pressure. She's like, I can't let you go home like this, because basically our blood pressure, like the average good blood pressure is supposed to be like 120/80, right? Mine was at that moment 167/100 and something. And then here's the funny thing. They gave me the medication, yeah. They were like, let's just come back in 2 hours. I'm sure you're going home at 4:30. This is where I'm getting annoyed. Stop giving me the idea, because I'm telling you that I'm dealing with such severe anxiety, and you're giving me more reasons to be anxious because you keep changing everything. And that's what's frustrating me, because you're like, oh, you're definitely going home. And I'm like, I don't think I am, because I know why I'm actually stressed. And it's got nothing, medication isn't going to solve nothing. The medications they're giving me isn't solving any problems. I'm still going to be stressed, and I'm a deeply logical person. So as you guys know, it's for the same reason I don't need people to be like, oh, I'm so sorry for you. Like, sorry for whatever you went through, or tomorrow's going to be a better day. No, the freak it isn't, unless somebody makes it a better day. So this is why I'm getting so frustrated, because I'm not that kind of person who's just like, I'm trying to say that the feelings I'm feeling are not coming from nowhere. And I can't believe I've become the example of exactly what I've been literally talking to you guys about. It's like when people go for all these diagnoses today of all this stuff, I'm like, a lot of it just sounds like undealt with trauma, demons and all sorts, poor mental health practices, lack of good love around you and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I know that why I'm feeling like this, because I know when the anxiety hits me, it's always when I start to think about everything, and then it just hits me like a ton of bricks. So anyway, I'm there like thinking, okay, we'll try the medication, because they're so sure it's going to work. We waited the 2 hours, come back. my blood pressure was higher than it was when I started, before I took the meds. They put me on more meds. They're like, oh, I'm sure it's going to be fine by 8:30. This time they give me 2 pills. So I'm saying, you can never trust in anything of the world. The world is such a disappointment. Like, I can't believe that every single where I go, this is why I'm be stressed, because every single where I go, it's like you can't get anything out of anywhere. So, and you guys know how I feel about pharmaceuticals, but I was like, you know what? Let's give them a try. Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe I've been too harsh. And maybe that's why the Lord brought me here, to like humble me. But I felt like it's actually the opposite. It was more to like confirm to me that everything I'm thinking is true, right? So I'm now here, like going to, I'm now here, so I'm now here with my blood pressure being worse. So they're like, oh, we're going to send you home tomorrow, but don't worry, you're definitely going home tomorrow again this morning. So I'm like, why are you saying that? Because you don't know that, because you're going to have to check my blood pressure. And because I'm still here, it's stressing me out more, because it's just strange people walking around, all these crazy sounds. I'm like too hot, too cold, whatever. I'm not okay. And you guys aren't listening to me. And because I feel like I'm not being listened to, it's making my anxiety worse, just like it does in the rest of my life. So anyway, so I'm here now. And they're like, oh, and the doctor's coming to see you. So I waited all night and the doctor never came. The doctor just came right now. It's like 2:00, right? I never saw the doctor all night, so I was there also. That's part of the other anxiety I was having. I'm like, is it not actually kind of actually logical to understand where all my anxieties are coming from, right? And why this isn't helping? Because I was saying to them, I was like, look, can I just go home for one night and then I'll come back and you can test me. I don't give a crap what they have to say. I'll be honest with you. I feel like, look, if it's my time, it's my time, and if the Lord wants to save me, He will. So I'm doing all of this because I'm trying to give them a chance, and I'm trying to do the right thing, because I can discharge myself, and I will be discharging myself today. If they don't discharge me, I'm gone. I don't care what I have to sign, because I never trusted them anyway. I was just trying to give them a chance, just like I try to give things a chance in life, just to make sure that I'm not wrong. So that's why I'm glad that I'm doing this, because now I'm never going to doubt all this stuff I've been saying. Anyway, so I'm now there waiting. They never came. I didn't obviously sleep. I'm waking up and I'm saying to them, do you not realize that when I'm lacking an ability to sleep, so it's not helping my health? Because I was telling them, normally if I'm feeling overly anxious, I do what I'm doing right now, which is I go out and I sit in nature for a little while, and it brings my heart rate down and I feel at peace because I'm here with the Lord, and then I get good sleep. I drink plenty of water and I make sure that I get good sleep. So, and then I wake up brand new, right? So I'm like, why can't you just give me one night? And they're like, well, we can't discharge it, which I get what they're trying to say. But the problem is again, it's the textbook thing. It's like, read the room. Okay, yes, you're saying, oh, you have to wait for, because this is what we've been going back and forth about now. Oh, I have to wait for your blood pressure to come down. And I'm like, yeah, but this place is what's increasing my blood pressure. Being here and you guys changing everything every 5 minutes is what's increasing my blood pressure. And when I just finished talking to that doctor, when I tell you how fuming I was before they even bought my pills that I had to take now, the next pills, I could never be more American than how many drugs I've just taken in the last 48 hours. I was pacing up and down. I was like, and I could feel the heat through my body, and I was just like, I swear down, if I don't go outside, I'm going to explode. And this is what I'm saying. So every time they're like, oh, and because me and the doctor were arguing, because he was like, it's fine, you'll just take the medication, I'll come back in an hour, and then if everything's fine, that's the problem. It's always if it, and I'm like, but you don't understand that that's the problem. And I was just like, you know what, this is what happens when you talk to academics, people who are just, they buy the book, they follow the textbook, and they've got no sense of like of reading between the lines and reading the room, right? As I'm saying to them, I'm like, the more I'm not sleeping, the more I'm stuck here, the more, like, the pills are not, how have I taken the pills, right? So imagine this, after they gave me the second batch of pills, they were like, oh, we're going to take her blood pressure while she's asleep, because I have managed to sleep at least maybe an hour or two every night. We're going to take her blood pressure while she's asleep. It was higher than before when I was awake and before I took all the medication. It was like 197 over 168, which is ridiculous. And they were even saying, they were like, that your blood pressure being this high, you're susceptible to having a stroke. This is another reason I don't like to go to the hospital, because why are you going to start pulling out these kinds of words? Anyways, we rebuke it in Jesus' name. I'm like, yeah, and you guys aren't helping. You guys aren't helping. You're not letting me leave. You're not discharging me. I'm telling you that this place is what's stressing me out. I didn't go out at all yesterday because I was so busy waiting for the doctor that never showed up. So I could have gone out and had some fresh air last night, but I ended up not being able to do it, right? Because they were like, I was waiting for the doctor. Even just now, the reason I've only come out now is because I've been waiting all day, and I was like, this guy better show up, like, for real, because yeah. So that was distressing me as well, and I'm just like, I'm not making this stuff up. So I just been there with the doctor again, and he was like, well, we're going to have to see where you are at in an hour after you take some medication. I'm going to give you different medication. And if you're fine, I'll send you home. But if not, you're going to need to stay another night. And I was like, you're not listening. Like, there's no intelligence here. There's just academia. You know what I mean? You're not listening. What's going to improve of me staying? Because he even asked me, I was like, does this environment make you anxious? I was like, yes, this is my worst nightmare. I've said this even to you guys. My worst nightmare is waking up in hospital. It's my worst nightmare because I feel like I don't have control over myself and I already feel unsafe everywhere. So I've been living my worst nightmare the last 3 days. I've been trying to keep a positive attitude for the most part, but I've been literally living my worst nightmare because as you guys know, I'm used to people just crossing my boundaries and it makes me anxious. So I don't like that people are just walking in and out of the room. Last night, I finally was falling asleep. This guy just comes in, this uncle, right? Walks in, and with this big heavy thing, he turns on all the big lighting, and this is a hospital. Now, where he was going to clean a specific area where another patient had been, right? And we, in all of our bays, which you might see in the video I recorded earlier if I've uploaded it, or I'm telling you now, each of us in our bays have our own lights. We have our own lights in our little section. So he didn't need to do all that. So I'm here falling asleep. This guy's coming in, bashing around. He dropped something and then he banged this. They didn't even have the audacity. He didn't even have the decency to switch off the light of the big main light when he left. So the nurse had to come and switch it off because she noticed. We didn't even say anything. She noticed. I've got another lady there, bless her heart. She's so sweet, but she's really going through it. So all throughout the night, she's like choking on mucus every 30 minutes to 1 hour. People are walking back and forth. They're walking into my bay to check my freaking blood pressure every 2 hours. I'm like, do you guys really think that I'm getting a single moment of rest while I'm going to be here? And you think keeping me longer is going to help? This is dumb. It's the dumbest stupidness I've ever heard, and I will never come to the hospital again. And I am so glad that I have been here at this time, and once I eventually do get out, because I will discharge myself today. I'm not doing this anymore, because now I'm worried for my own health, because every time they keep coming back with oh, but we're still worried, it's bringing up my heart rate like now. So now I had to come outside because I could feel the heat in my forehead and behind my eyes and throughout my whole body. I could just feel the heat. And that was the other thing. You guys know I don't do too well when I'm too hot. The first couple nights, I was literally sweating, not even the drip sweat where you can see it, but when it's seeps out of your pores, every 30 minutes to an hour. So then I'm feeling like I want to take a shower every hour, every 2 hours, and I can't do that. And I can't even take a proper shower in there because I've got to use the freaking shower thing that they have, which I'll try to remember to show you guys what it looks like. And I'm like, and all I was asking for is let me go home for one night. I will come back tomorrow. I've been surviving. And this is the thing. I'm like, no offense, but I've been surviving like this for a while. And this is why I never go to the hospital. I never wanted to go to the hospital. This is exactly why, because I knew and I've said it to you guys before. If those of you who've been here for long enough, you've heard me say for literally months, if I go to the hospital, I know they're going to all be very concerned for my state of health. But the thing is, they don't have the solution, because I even said to the doctor, I was like, look, I was stressed already, and whatever you guys are doing here, I really appreciate. It's not going to solve what's making me stressed in the first place. So this is all redundant. And it is redundant. It's all redundant because it's not going to solve the real underlying issues of what is going on. In fact, it's making it worse, because it's saying now it's making it worse because now I have to cancel work and I'm not going to be able to do the things that I need to do, which are the things I'm trying to do to get myself organized. I've been trying to get my life organized together, and this is why I've been up late hours of the night doing all these different things. And so now you're taking away the opportunity from me. So you're making it worse even in that aspect. And then your conclusion at the end of it is, oh, yeah, well, I understand, but we need you to stay here so that we can wait for your blood pressure to come down. And then they love to start throwing around these words as if because he was like, do you have a history of high blood pressure in your family? Do you have this? I'm like, screw that, because I'm telling you, and again, it's because he's an academic, and academic people are taught in a way where they parrot information. So this disease equals these symptoms, and these things increase probability that you have them. That's how he's looking at it. So you don't look at it from, there could be a root cause. Even if, say, people in my family did, there would be a root cause as to why, to do with their life. I believe stuff that they're going through or whatever, I believe would be the things to affect. I know a person in my family who has a higher blood pressure, one of the fittest adults I know. And I know because at the time when they were put on the medication, they were going through an extremely stressful time, more stressful than usual. So when they told me, I wasn't that surprised, because I was like, to be fair, you've been going through a lot right now. So I can imagine, because again, our body reacts. This is why I say, like, you can't run away from anything. You can't run away from your demons. I'm not saying it's a demon. You can't run away from the effects of life on us, because it just is going to happen all by itself. The same way, I'm not sitting here always thinking about, even now while they're taking my blood pressure, I'm here watching Sidemen videos and laughing, but my blood pressure is still high, because subconsciously my brain knows that I'm stressed out. And subconsciously my brain knows that I'm worried I'm still going to be there. So yeah, so that's what's going down. So yeah, I had to leave. I was like, listen, I'm getting out. As soon as I couldn't sit down. And this is the other thing. It goes back to personality and how everybody's different. I'm the kind of person where if I don't burn off my energy, all my energy, I can't sleep. And I just feel like adrenaline running through my veins. That's just how I am as a person. And I feel like this is why I enjoy things like dance. I enjoy going out in nature and, like, you know, climbing around the trees and climbing up the hills and all of this. I enjoy doing it because I break a sweat. I move my body. So by the time I've done all my walks throughout the day, like go out for sunrise, go out maybe at lunchtime, and then go out at sunset, and I may still go out again. By the time I've done all of that, my body is exhausted. So I can actually, because my job only exhausts my brain. And so my body is still never exhausted. That's why I can do a whole work day and I'll still go out for a couple of hours, because I need to exhaust my body. And I've been saying that this is one of the main reasons I'm trying to change jobs, because I've realized I can't do work where I'm not moving my body more. That's what was good about me doing dance. And I'm wondering if that's why I used to sleep then, because now I'm here in this hospital bed. I haven't left. I haven't smelt fresh air overnight. I'm sitting in this stupid bed right now. It's very comfortable, right? But I haven't gotten out of it. I can feel all the energy in my body. And you think I'm going to sleep? I could go to the gym. I could probably run a marathon with how little I've done in the last 3 days. That's probably how much energy is left stored up. And you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to chill and go to sleep with all these things put together. So no. After that, I was ticked off. And listen, when I have to go back and they've done their little thing and they do their test, I'm checking myself the hell out. I've done my bit. I came, I said, you know what, I'll give it a try. Maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing. But no, this is the most brain dead thing I ever heard, because I'm just like, even the nurses, this is why I say I appreciate the nurse who I have today, because she, as soon as I told her about everything and how the stress was affecting me more and the building and being there, she went straight to the doctor and she started to make things happen. Even just now, she went straight to, as soon as he'd finished, she went straight to it to go and get the other medication. And again, isn't it funny? How can I be outstressed of the medication? It's because the medication is just treating symptoms of something that actually has a root cause, and the root cause is still there. So what exactly do you expect to happen? I'm still stressed. You people are stressing me out even more. I'm too hot in flipping here. It's too hot in there, because obviously you've got old, frail people as well. And you guys know I hate being too hot. That's when I'm the most irritable ever. I'm too hot in here. I can barely eat. You know what I mean? And even some of the food they have, God bless them. And my mum's actually been bringing me food and stuff. So thank goodness for that. But, you know, I'm like, you're not setting me up for success in any way being here, and you're just parroting off of, and I do believe for some people it works, and maybe honestly, if you ask me, I feel like it's because they're not as stressed. That's what I feel like. So it has a tangible effect. Whereas for me, as I've been saying for literally months, I am on high alert stress 24/7. I've been saying that. So this is what I'm saying. It's like, what do I have to do in this life? Like, God is all like, love and friendship and relationships. It's like, well, why does no one believe me when I'm saying stuff and I have to be in the hospital, not being discharged, to be taken freaking seriously? So annoying. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, and it obviously just proves again that just like what I said about the pharmaceutical industry, just like I said, I was right again on another freaking episode of I Told You So. I'm sick of these stupid episodes of I Told You So. So I am fuming. I'm going to have to go back in there. And again, I'm going to now have to try and calm down because he set a boundary like, oh, if she's not below this, then she's got to stay. Listen, I'm signing myself out. I don't give a crap. Listen, Jesus died so that I could have healing. This is why I was never worried about it, because I was like, look, if the Lord is allowing me to be in this level of stress at the moment, there's probably a purpose, and I know what the purpose is, because God knows that I don't really tend to move on doing certain things unless I feel He does it with all of us. It's just like the people of Israel, right? When they were being removed from slavery, just before he took them out of Egypt, the things actually got worse. So when Moses popped in and starts to go against the Egyptians, things actually got worse before they got better. And I believe that was because God's like, you're too comfortable where you are. And you're too comfortable in your slavery. So if it doesn't get worse, then you're not going to do anything. Because it's true. Ever since I've been feeling like this, I've been actually trying to do things and actually get my life together. Whereas before, I was kind of just coasting along, making YouTube videos, teaching. And I was just kind of like, hey, this is just what I do. I was just coasting away. And now I'm like, okay, we need to make it to the promised land, because the hell is all of this. So I know that's why he's allowing it. And that's why I'm not worried myself, because I'm like, look, God will never leave me nor forsake me. So it doesn't really matter what my blood pressure says, and it doesn't really matter what the doctors think. God is the one who is the most high. You know what I'm saying? So like, I really have tried to embrace all of this, because yesterday I was going to discharge myself, but then I was like, just see it out. Maybe it'll actually improve. But to take all these pills, like I took 3 pills this morning. I've just taken another pill. I've got to take another pill when I get back. I've taken like 6 pills today. And you guys know how I feel about pharmaceuticals, but I was willing to sacrifice my body for the mission at hand, everything we're talking about now. So I was like, you know what? I'll sacrifice my body and my morals and values for the sake of, maybe I'm wrong. And this is why I do this stuff, because you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe I need to humble myself. But now we know. So it's starting to rain. I am going to go inside. I wish I could have frozen a little bit more. Like I would love to have been like completely frostbitten. I'm going to ask her to check my blood pressure immediately when I get in there, while I'm still cold. While I'm still cold and I'm feeling positive, because maybe she'll be able to see that, hey, she's actually doing better. But yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I don't know how this video is going to turn out. I plan on making it into kind of like a vlog and adding in some of the bits of the hospital itself. And like my little cubicle and whatever. But yeah, I'm so ticked off like now. And, you know, it's moments like this, yeah, where I get to this level of annoyed about a situation where like I honestly become like the most ferocious dragon you ever did see. And I feel like, again, this is why the Lord is allowing it, because he's like, he knows that now I've got even more reason to bring even more fire towards the kingdom of darkness, because this is ridiculous. Even with some of the things the other patients were going through that were with me, you know, I was kind of like, and it's sad because you have so many people who work there and who are doing their job, who are so good. Like I said, the nurses have been amazing, really caring, looking after all of us really well, for most of them, you know what I mean? And the other staff members that are there as well. But then there's just some ignoramuses where I'm like, you know what? And I often wonder, because you guys, I don't know if I've ever told you guys, actually definitely have. The thing that annoys me the most in life in general is incompetence. That's why I always talk about pilots, because they can't afford to be incompetent, because it's people's lives on the actual line. Because I was thinking even just now, I was like, so what happens if I go back in there, they don't discharge me, my situation gets worse, and then I actually get into a bad situation? Because that's going to irritate me even more, because then they're going to be like, this is why we had to keep you. And it's like, no, this is because you kept me. Because like even now, even when I'm speaking to you guys like this, I feel about 100 times calmer than I felt in that hospital. But I've got to go back now anyways, because now it's been half an hour and my next batch of pills, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of interesting, like I said, to look at these things from the inside, being me, because it's like, I know what I know because I do my research and I do my due diligence. So I knew that my body wasn't in a good position. I've said that. I've been saying that God is holding my body together, because I don't know how I'm managing under the amount of stress that I feel about just the state of everything, and how dumb the world is, and how weak the body of Christ is, and how everything is getting so bad for everyone, and we're all just taking it like on the chin. We're all just bending over for the devil, and we're all just sitting on the boat of entropy heading down to chaos. And it stresses me out, because it's like, I can't live like that. Jesus did not die on the cross for me to live like that. And anyways, it's going to get to the point where the chaos is, it's just, even the things I be seeing on the internet now, the things I be seeing from people, it's getting so degenerate that I'm like, God, you need to get us to the promised land, because we can't do this. I can't fraternize with the world anymore. This is what I've been saying. So that's why I just think it's all kind of crazy how I end up in this predicament. I try to give people a chance. You know, I'd be giving people chances. Maybe I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I'm all talking about humble thyself before the Lord. Okay, humbled myself before the Lord, and here we are. Here we freaking are. So I just want to be able to go back, have a proper sleep, and get back to doing the things I need to do. So we'll see what happens anyways, you guys, but I just had to update you, and I needed to get some fresh air. And especially the fact that I could have got fresh air yesterday, but just because they didn't tell me that the doctor wasn't coming to see me, I stayed all night and I did not leave the hospital. You guys, I spend like hours out every day. Hours. So I'm like this, and again, I was explaining to him that this is how I deal with my mental health. Like, does it not matter? Do I not if you're treating me as the patient, does my take on what I've been doing, does that not factor also into your decision? But no, we're just parroting, yeah, well, you know what, this is what you have to do. Well, you know what, this is what you have to do. And it's like, okay, but I've told you what actually works for me. I've not asked you for a lot. Because at one point, I just wanted to go out for a couple of hours. I was like, I'll just go out. I live near the hospital. I just wanted to go, get a shower, grab some other stuff, go and sit like out in nature for a little bit. That's all I was asking for. And I couldn't do that. And then I'm now here stressed again. So thank God it's raining. That's going to work in my favor because I love the rain, as we know. But yeah, I'm going to head back in now anyway to the hospital. And I know they're going to be like, oh, you should have taken out a coat. You should have taken out a jacket. No, because I was so heated. And the thing is, guys, I'm a deeply passionate person. So that's the thing. That's why I'm just passionate and powerful, to be honest with you. So there's just a lot of power in my body. And so I can't just sit around and just faff. So yeah. And especially because I'm not only seeing my experience for what I'm going through, I'm also watching what's happening for those people around me. And it was making me sad. Like my new friend, she was kept there for 3 days, right? She was supposed to be there to do a scan. She was kept for 3 days, all for them to say, oh, by the way, actually, you were not supposed to be here. And she's a mother. She has 2 young kids who she had to be stressing, finding childcare for. God forbid she ends up like me with high blood pressure with all that stress. Just for them to turn around after 3 days. Oh, actually, you don't even need to be here. What? So, yeah, anyways, I'm going back in. Anyway, you guys, if life's a game, let's play to win. At least in all of this, I can have something to show you guys, and I can still contribute to the overall progression of all of us. But all I'm trying to do at the moment, while the Lord's doing whatever he's doing, is prove to you guys with everything that I do, wherever I go, I'm trying to prove to you that the things that I'm saying, they're not just out here having conspiracies for the heck of it. I really, truly have looked into things. And when I'm making these statements in my videos, for the most part, obviously sometimes we're all ignorant, I know what the hell I'm talking about. It's just that the standards of things in the world are very low. So what other people would take, they'll just take what a doctor says because they're like, oh, they're a doctor, they have a PhD, they went to medical school. You're not going to impress me with that. In all honesty, in fact, the nurses who have impressed me the most at how patient they are, they work these long hours and they're still so nice, they're still so competent. They've impressed me. These doctors have not impressed me whatsoever at all. And again, I'm not surprised because these are your A students. They can learn things, they parrot it off. And as long as they know enough, they're going to get away with that. But then when you actually need to, and I think it's because I'm a nurturer as well. So I feel like when you look after people, you have to really look after them and make sure they feel seen and make sure they feel heard. And not just, it's the same thing I do with the kids, not just tell them what they need to do, but actually pay attention to people's actual needs. Because what my need was, and my need has been this entire time, is just for somebody, for the love of everything, to acknowledge that I am stressed and I have a right to be. That's all. That's all I've been asking for. And that's the one thing I can't get, but I can get all these pharmaceuticals shoved down my throat for free on the NHS. Anyways, if life's a game, it's play to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. It's raining really badly, which is good. I'm hoping I can get a nice low blood pressure Anyway, you guys, I'm freaking discharged. It took forever, but we out here, we out of here. So I shouldn't really be on my phone in the hospital. Main entrance. Hold on. So yeah, you guys, I'm finally out. And sorry I'm recording this way because I'm technically, I don't know how allowed I am to be on my phone outside the hospital. I'm waiting for a brother to come and collect me. So my brother's coming to collect me in just a minute. And wow, I can't express to you guys how much I was praying to get discharged today. I was like, I can't mentally handle doing A&E another, like doing staying in the hospital another night. I couldn't do it. It was traumatizing. Last night was so traumatizing. So I'm just glad to be here. Oh, he might not even come to this entrance actually. Anyway, I'm discombobulated. It's fine. So yeah, so I'm out. And now that I'm out, I do you know what I can't stand about myself? Because I'm like a child of the Lord and I'm also me as a person, I'm just so intrigued by this whole situation. Okay, obviously it wasn't good and it was scary at times, and I did live my worst nightmare. I've never told you guys this before. Actually, I have, because I told you that I've written a movie idea about it. How my worst nightmare is to wake up in the hospital. And that's exactly what happened. So, yeah. Anyway, so that past the trauma, I kind of felt like afterwards, I was like, you know what? If I actually am facing it, I've kind of just faced another one of my fears in a way, by force, obviously, but it is what it is. It's done now, and it can't be held against me. But yeah, so there's that. And also, now I really have an experience of like what it's actually like to be a patient, like, and an actual patient that needs a lot of things. Because when I was in, I've realized that like from just what's happened with like the doctors, which we're going to talk about that as well, and also like what's just happened with me and the like all the different job roles. I have to go ahead and say, I do. I definitely say special shout out to the nurses who were amazing. I'm definitely going to make sure to bring them something just to say thank you for literally nurturing me back to health, looking after me. So absolute shout out to them. They were so kind and understanding despite working such long shifts and dealing with so many different kinds of people and different kinds of problems. So shouts out to them. The doctors, on the other hand, well, I'm doing a whole video on the doctors, so you guys will see that because I was not impressed by that situation at all. So yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I'm just literally just waiting for my brother who's coming to get me. I hope we can actually find each other. Yep, he just texted me to ask if it's next to A&E, where I was wheeled in a couple of days ago. Hold on. And yeah, I'm discharged. I'm so curious to look into this medication, right, as well, because now I have the meds and now I get to make myself the person I'm experimenting on. And you guys know, I like to experiment on myself because I don't trust what anybody else would say. So I'm going to just try it out. They've said, oh, try out the medication, see how it helps your high blood pressure. I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to do what they said because now we're going to get to do a bit of science. I know, as soon as the whole thing was over, but like when I was just sitting in there and I was waiting for them to bring the discharge paper to officially discharge me from the hospital, I was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, despite how I'm feeling, like I've been complaining so much about how like, oh, people don't take my pain seriously. People just don't take me seriously in general. And I realized as I was looking around and I could see like hopelessness in others, like the lady that was next to me was looking really hopeless. And I can't remember exactly what she said, but whatever she said, it made me feel really sad for her. And she said something like how this is too much. The other lady was saying the same thing, like all of them. And I was just thinking, you know what? Even though I'm upset about so many things and how I feel like I've been treated and that people don't take me seriously, part of the reason is because I look okay because the spirit of the living God is within me. Like, this is what I've been saying to you guys. These guys are telling me when last night my heart rate was was 100 and my blood pressure was 197 over 168. It's supposed to be 120 over 80. And everybody was telling me about how I should be having a stroke. And I was thinking, that's the power of the life of God. Like, even if I feel dead inside, which I do, and I've said that to you guys so many times, because I have, God, like the life is still in me. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. And it's just like to have actually experienced it. It's like, you know what, this is kind of why people don't take me my pain seriously, because I kind of wear it a little bit too well. Because people were looking at me shocked, like as if to be like, you don't realize how bad your situation is. Like, don't seem to be taking this seriously enough. And it's like, oh, I'm taking it seriously. It's just that I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid because I'm not going to die a day sooner than when God would have me die. And he has a plan for everything. And like when I started to think after I'd gotten past the first half of everything, which obviously I didn't intentionally get into the hospital, I was feeling like I was in prison. Because especially when I didn't get to leave yesterday because I was waiting for the doctor that never showed up. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm going to talk about all of this because I crashed out in the middle of the day. You guys will see that. I'm going to finish off that. I'm going to make it into like a vlog. Because I also showed you the food I was eating and like my little cubicle. Because I was just like, I need to distract myself. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my mind. But yeah, like, obviously, I'm never going to intentionally go to hospital. I just want to make that very clear, you guys. I know I always talk about how much I hate being here, but so much of being here reminded me of why that is the case. Like, because it's the ghetto out here, like where people are dying. Like I'm here staring at death's face, like people in my cell. Like one of the ladies, I was just looking at her and I was thinking, it was kind of reinforcing my anxiety because I was looking at her thinking, you don't look like a beacon of life. You look like entropy is having its way with you. And I could just see her all through last night, all till today. And I could just hear her coughing and just like her body just like giving out. And I was just thinking, this is literally entropy. Oh, speaking of which, I also got an email to say that my book, Amazon is sending me money for my book. So that's fun because I've had at least one purchase of my book. So that's fun. But yeah, so yeah, to see that and experience that, and then just other different things, just a lot of perspective, Also, because I've got family that works in healthcare. My mum, she's an occupational therapist. She has been for the past, like, as long as I've been alive, longer. I think longer. Longer, actually. And so to, like, just get more of an insight onto her job, because we have same text, different font. Like me as a teacher, I could never do her job though, because boy, I couldn't work in a hospital. That's intense. It's scary to see people in that state. It's scary to think about, getting to a point in your life where you need somebody else to wipe your ass. Because this is what I'd be panicking about. That like my life is just running away. I'm getting older. I haven't figured out what I need to figure out, and I feel like tomorrow I'm going to be that lady that I was looking at in my bay, who needed people to help her with everything. And could barely even walk for herself. You know what I mean? Even when we were when she would start coughing, she would need somebody. Like I even helped her one time. She would need somebody to like come in and like help her just to sit up. And this is what I'm saying when I'm talking about entropy and how I feel like my 20s have been wasted on just working and stressing. Like I haven't lived the 20s. People are like 20s are your best years of your life. This is why, even when people are like, but you still got your life ahead of you. It's like, yeah, but my best years are soon to be behind me. And that's actually what's giving me the anxiety. So to just have been literally staring at that reality in the face for the past like 72 hours was kind of insane. So anyways, that's the story in Balmore today. That was what happened. And I'm grateful, like I said, because I feel like with whatever I go through, and it's a tough with God again, it gives me anxiety sometimes, my relationship with God, because it's like, he just allows things to happen. I'm like, God, you really allowed this? Because this is what I was thinking. When I woke up in the hospital, I was like, you really allowed this to happen? Like, you really did this to me? Like my worst ever nightmare? Like you really allowed that? But then it's like, he has a good reason, you know what I mean? Because he's like, yeah, well, now you're going to get some insight that no one can disagree with you with. So anyway, stay tuned. I'm going to be doing more videos, and I'm going to be I'm going to be editing my crash out because I have a lot to say. But shout out to the nurses and even like the people that were cleaning, the people that were giving us food. Those guys were amazing, so sweet, so just kind, lovely, beautiful souls. And so were some of the doctors, but I will have to admit I don't like doctors, and I'm so glad I never went to med school, because that was actually my plan, to go to medical school. I'm so glad I didn't go, because I could not be like working in being a doctor, because it's probably the only thing that would make me feel like I'm working for the losing team more than being a teacher, because you're just spouting stuff that I don't know, some of it is like, if the Lord wills, listen, he needs to skip to the part where I have my own research lab. Is that my brother? That looks like his walk. But yeah, so anyways, guys, I got to go, I think. And yeah, I appreciate, it's not my brother, it's just another tall person. um yeah, I have just a lot to process. At least I get to process it, and I can't wait to have a shower, a proper shower. You guys, I've obviously like had a showers, and I say it like this because the shower wasn't giving. So have a shower, go to bed, eat a proper meal, but they were lovely, and the food, it wasn't amazing, but it was good enough, and it was made with love, and that made it good. So anyway, I'm going to head off. And yeah, you guys, if life's a game, let's play to win. Stay tuned, because there's going to be so many debriefs about this whole last 72 hours. The only reason I wasn't recording every single thing in real time is A, I was in public space. B, I didn't want to bother people. And C, it's like I don't want to accidentally include people's personal business when they're in like a really vulnerable moment. So I was like, I'll just wait till afterwards, and I'll kind of like give you guys the full rundown when I'm not actually there anymore. So I'm not like talking about a situation that's ongoing. Anyway, for life's a game, let's play to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.